So we got to talk about this eviction moratorium that just went through. A lot of political commentators have already been speaking on it, and I prefer not to get involved in the horse race or whatever you want to call the spin cycle of the news, and just speak on things that I think are actionable and actually really matter, and just not just be reporting what I see is reported. But I think I've noticed everybody's kind of missing a key component of this situation, so I wanted to kind of give my take on it. So as we all know, we're facing a potential eviction crisis once the moratorium ends, and it has been extended multiple times this year. But I guess for those of you who have been possibly living under a rock or, and don't understand anything that's going on, I guess backtracking, giving some context. As we all know, with the pandemic and shutdowns of 2020, that left a lot of people in a limbo state of not being able to go to work and pay their bills, and also with the infrastructure around unemployment and the way it's, the way it's not uniform throughout the states. And it just left a lot of people unprotected from these guidelines. Like, people were not allowed to work and go and pay their bills, but we're still expected to pay their bills. And there is no protections for either side, whether it be renters or landlords, right? So that we just put a moratorium on payments, so that way us regular people, us renters, don't actually have to pay right now. But that just kicks the can down the road, and eventually these people who expect the return of investment, a lot of people are paying their bills through renting. That's a big it's a big there's a lot of small businesses that are doing the renting. It's not it's not necessarily dominated by corporations, if I'm not mistaken. So it's just left a lot of people in a lot of bad situations. And the key issue of this was the government's mishandling of the situation from the beginning, right? But we'll get into that in a second. I want to let's just focus on the story for now. So this is an article from CNBC. The CDC extending the federal eviction moratorium is expected to cover about 90% of renters. That, if I'm not mistaken, I remember seeing something about it covering about 80% of counties, and in those 80% of counties, it protects 90% of renters. So it's a little misleading the way this title is, but I guess that's nitpicking, right? So the Center for Disease Control and Prevention announced Tuesday it will extend the federal eviction moratorium through October 3rd, 2021, after the ban lapsed over the weekend. The announcement comes after pressure from the House Democrats, including House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Representative Maxine Waters, and Representative Cori Bush. The White House previously said Biden did not have the authority to extend the ban, given a June Supreme Court ruling that said only Congress can enact such a ban. Congressional Democrats did not appear to have enough votes to do so, and the House is currently in recess. Now the CDC will instead issue a ban in counties, quote, experiencing substantial and high levels of community transmission levels in COVID-19, which will cover an estimated 90% of renters, according to Senator Chuck Schumer. So the White House is also calling on state and local governments to do everything they can to get out the $46 billion in emergency relief. Rental relief Congress has allocated so far, only an estimated $3 billion has been dispersed. That is interesting. That I wonder what that is. I wonder why that is, should I say. So yeah, man, long story short, I think it's pretty interesting. And the reason there people are citing for this change of heart is Cori Bush sleeping on the Capitol steps, which I will get into as well. So yeah, this is an article from Newsweek. Cori Bush and Anaya Presley sleep on the Capitol steps as millions face eviction as moratorium ends. And I wanted to speak on this just real quick. I don't want to necessarily bash Representative Cori Bush. I feel like, even though, I guess, not trying to hide the ball for me, I am less focused on electoral politics, because I don't believe we'll get, there's real substantial change in there until we actually get control of, our lives outside of elected politics. And, well, that's just kind of where I want to put my stake in the ground. So I don't want, I do kind of see this as virtue signaling, even though I don't want to downplay her actions too much, because, you know, sleeping outside, whether, you know, is hard regardless, you know what I'm saying? And if she did move President Biden, it's even more disgusting to me, because it's like, fam, you know, very real, like, you have to, the homie, I guess, hopefully this is, I guess her and him are homies, or he knows her, so her sleeping on the Capitol steps was moving enough, but the very real threat of millions of people having to sleep outside wasn't enough. Like, I don't, you know, it seems even more disgusting to me. I'm sorry if I'm struggling in explaining how I feel about this, but like I said, I don't want to, I guess my honest thought is, I don't, you know, bruh, like, this is, you know, not only is what happened, we just extended the moratorium a few months, the definition of a Band-Aid, you know what I'm saying? And not only that, but I feel like she should have used her platform to you know, champion housing cooperatives and, you know, things of that nature. Like I said, the reason why I keep going back to cooperatives, it's, you know, the answer is ownership, getting control of your life, your, you know, your time, all that kind of stuff. You know, if you're watching the channel, you know the drill. And I just want to kind of point out, like, how, hey, look, you know, and if you watch more than likely, if you watch the channel, you probably see the other progressive news as well in the ecosphere going around, and you see that there's no real talks of solution other than get the right people elected and hopefully they'll save us. And it's just, I just don't agree with that mind state. And I think there's something we can do right now together, you know, like, that don't involve, fingers crossed, people actually doing what we asked them to do. So I do, I guess, you know, appreciate and shout out Cori Bush and Anaya Presley for doing that. But, you know, once you have that kind of platform, I think speaking on personal agency for people, which is what the left is lacking tenfold, and, you know, the right speaks on, but in a disingenuous way. I think that's definitely what they should have done instead. I think, you know, they just, you know, it's just our quote unquote representatives, or is the education where people can do in their own personal lives to get control of their stuff. You know, I don't know, it's all kind of, you know, hero mentality that he kind of, it's just, it's not working. It doesn't work, obviously, you know, and, you know, this is, like I said, a Band-Aid. We kicked the can down the road. So we'll be back here again trying to, you know, everybody up. Oh, we're all going to be homeless soon again. You know, it's just like, nobody's serious. You know, it's just the big thing is none of these people are worried about their homes. I think Representative Cori Bush, she's actually been homeless, so it probably does affect her more. But if it does, I would like to say to her, which I know she'll never see this video, I'm mostly speaking to my fellow po folk, you know what I'm saying? But if she does happen chance come across this video, my request to her would be, hey, you know, could you please speak on ways to give us personal agency, like housing cooperatives, how, you know, a lot of us, especially people who are already renting from you know, at an apartment complex, when we pull our resources together, you know, and buy out, you know, these buildings, and actually, you know, then that way, you know, we can bring our rents down, because then we're not factoring in that profit margin from the corporation or whatever business or whatever person is, you know, is charging us. You know, we just have to worry about property taxes, maintenance, you know, whatever, you know, you just have some ownership, be able to make some, you know, and then also with people having ownership, you know, that's what makes people more engaged in, like, a lot of people don't care about elected politics because ain't nothing in it for them. You know, they ain't worried about the potholes in the street because ain't nothing in, you know, I'm renting. I'm only going to be here temporarily in their mind. Right. So then giving people some real agency, some, you know, it breeds more accountability. It breeds, you know, actually trying to do better and, you know, caring about elected politics, because they, you know, when they see the property taxes stupid high, they start wondering, well, what is this about? Who do I need to talk to about the, you know, like I don't know. It's just obvious. It's just, it's kind of obvious to me, but I understand it's not, you know, it's just this. I guess I've been down this rabbit hole for long enough now that, you know, I've forgotten what it's like to not understand it. You know what I mean? So, you know, hopefully if this, you know, tickles your fancy, make sure you know, do the usual, join the co-op. And yeah, man, I'm gonna leave it at that. Yo, you like what you just saw? Make sure you like, share, subscribe, so the algorithms can algorithm or whatever sorcery they do. Follow us on our socials, links all down in the description, and let's keep rocking.